Boys and girls, today we're going to be looking at how to draw angles using a protractor. We'll know that we can do this effectively when we can line up our protractor to initially just measure out an angle, and then use our protractor to draw the lines of the angles with precision. Let's look at step by step how we draw angles. The first thing you're going to do is to draw a straight horizontal line on your paper. You can use the edge of your protractor to do this, just like that. Now, you're going to place a dot at one end of the arm. Now that dot is going to represent the vertex of your angle. You need to think about what way you want your angle to be going. So if I have my vertex here, my angle is going to go this way. My angle is going to look something like that. If, however, I was to put my vertex here, then my angle is going to open up this way. So your angle would be going that way. So just think about where you want your angle to be going when you draw your dot. Next, you're going to line up your protractor with the line that you've just drawn. So remember, when we line up our protractor, we line up the vertex with the origin point on the protractor, that's that middle bit there, and we line up the bottom arm of our angle with the baseline of the protractor. Now you just need to measure out the angle that you're trying to draw. So let's say you're trying to draw a 60-degree angle. You're going to find 60 degrees on your protractor, and you're going to make a dot on your paper where 60 degrees would be. So you can see that I've measured out 60 degrees, and then I've just gone right out here and put a dot at 60 degrees. Now you need to join that dot to the vertex of your angle, and you can use the edge of your protractor to do this. That's going to form the second arm of your angle. And then of course you can just erase that dot because you don't need it anymore, and you've got your angle. Now don't forget to draw the arc of the angle you've drawn, because remember, I could be drawing a reflex angle, so I could actually be talking about this angle over here. So I need to be able to represent that I'm drawing this angle. And you can also label your angle with its measurement, 60 degrees. Now, boys and girls, your activity today, you've got a few angles that I've asked you to draw, and you'll find those on Google Slides. And then you have a game that you can play. Now, this game is called Angle War, and the first thing you'll need is the game board. This is what the game board looks like, and you can find that on Google Slides. Now, all you'll need for this game is a game board, 2 10-sided dice, a pencil, and a protractor. Now, I know everyone doesn't have 10-sided dice laying around, so the best thing I can tell you to do is to go to Google and do a search for virtual dice, and this will pop up in your search results. Actually, when it pops up, it's going to have just a 6-sided dice on it. And what you need to do is click on that die to get rid of it. So if I was to click on this die, it would disappear. And then you can choose the die that you want down here. So you want to click on the 6-sided die that will appear to get rid of that die, and then click twice because you want 2 10-sided die. Now you're going to roll your 10-sided die, and you're going to come up with a number like this. So this is 62, 6 and a 2. That's going to represent the angle that you need to draw. So in your workspace, you first need to record 62, just like that. Then you need to get your protractor, and do you see how the first line is already drawn for you there in that circle? You're going to get your protractor, and you're going to measure out 62 degrees. So I've measured out 62 degrees right there. I've drawn my dot, lined up my protractor, drawn my line to represent my angle, and I've shaded it in. So right now I've got an angle of 62 degrees. Now, your partner is going to do the same thing. That's your first turn. Your partner is going to have their turn. On your second turn, you're going to roll the die again. Let's say I get 79 for my next roll. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, once again, line up your protractor and measure out 79 degrees. So line up the protractor, put that dot right there to represent 79 degrees, and fill in your angle and label your angle. Now, once you've done your second angle, you're going to add it to your first angle here. So remember, we had 62 degrees written down because that was the first angle that we measured out. Our second angle is 79 degrees, so we're just going to add that to our first angle, and we get 141 degrees. Now, the aim of the game is to be the first person to fill in your circle. So the first person to get to 360 degrees, which is a full rotation, is going to be the winner. So you might play again, and of course you might get, what would that be? Maybe like a 60-degree angle there, and then maybe you just get a very small angle here, and maybe you get lucky and you get quite a large obtuse angle. Okay, you just want to be the first person to get to 360 degrees. Now, occasionally with this game, with the 10-sided dice, you will roll a 10. If you roll a 10 in this game, you can count it as a 0. Okay, so if I rolled a 7 and a 10, I would count it as 70 degrees. Or if I rolled a 10 and a 9, I would just count it as 9 degrees. So just consider your 10s zeros. Okay? That should be a fun game, and it should give you lots of practice drawing angles. Now, if you can't print the game board for any reason, you can always draw it, because all you really need is a circle and a line to begin with, and then some scrap paper for your workplace. All right, boys and girls, so hopefully you have a good idea now of how to draw angles using a protractor, and hopefully you will have had lots of practice measuring your angles correctly and then lining up your protractor to be able to draw them correctly. Please don't forget to ask your teacher if you have any questions, and have fun with the game today.